Good morning, children. In previous class, what we were studied in previous class, we studied epithelial tissue. In that epithelial tissue, simple epithelium. In that, particularly simple squamous epithelium. Next, simple cuboidal epithelium and simple columnar epithelium. Along with that, we studied ciliated cuboidal epithelium, ciliated columnar epithelium, and last pseudostratified epithelium. So in that pseudostratified epithelium, it is going to be columnar epithelial cells which are going to present, which are actually single layer because of presence of whatever the nuclei which is going to be located at different levels in different cells, which looks like multi-layer, but actually it is a single layer. That and in that various examples also for all these things we studied. Is that right? And today we are going to start that regarding that uh, multi-layered or multiple layer compound epithelium. Compound. What is that? Compound. Compound epithelium. Compound epithelium. We are going to start today compound epithelium, also known as stratified epithelium. Also known as stratified. Stratified epithelium. Stratified epithelium. Is that right? So what is in previously? What is that? That is a simple epithelium. It is a single layer. Here it is strata, layers, multiple layers, multiple layers. So this is nothing but multiple layers, multiple layers, multiple layers. More number of layers which are going to be present. More number of layers which are going to present. This compound epithelium, because of presence of more number of layers, it is going to be called as compound and stratified and multiple layers. Clear? Next. So this compound epithelium, which is differentiated into again, which is differentiated into, simple, not simple. What do we call? Stratified squamous. Stratified squamous. Stratified squamous epithelium. Next, this is the squamous or clad cells. Should remember. Next, another one. Stratified cuboidal. Stratified cuboidal epithelium. Do you understand what I am going to say? Next one. Stratified columnar epithelium. Stratified columnar. Stratified columnar epithelium. Stratified columnar epithelium. Now, first this stratified squamous epithelium, how exactly this is differentiated, how exactly simple epithelial cells, in that simple single layer of cells, how it is going to be classified? Simple squamous epithelium, simple cuboidal epithelium, next simple columnar epithelium. Like exactly this also stratified, more number of layers which are going to present. That's what it is going to be considered as stratified squamous epithelium, stratified cuboidal epithelium, stratified columnar epithelium. So in this stratified squamous epithelium, based on presence of absence of keratin, it is the protein where it is located. Based on that, this again which is differentiated into keratinized. This one it is going to be keratinized. This is the keratinized. Keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. Okay, this is the non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. Clear? So this is the keratin, whatever the epithelium which is formed by the keratin, it is the protein which is present in hairs, which is present in skin, sole of the skin and palm of the skin, which is going to present keratin protein. Is that right? So based on presence or absence of keratin, this stratified squamous epithelium which is differentiated into keratinized and non-keratinized. Example for the keratinized: palm, palm, okay, sole, you know, okay, palm, sole and skin also, skin, skin, okay. So this non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium, example locations where it is going to be present. This non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium present in oral cavity, next cervix region of female reproductive tract, female reproductive system, next anal canal, anus is there, mouth and anus is there now, that lower classes is studied in that, whatever the feces which is going to be coming out, that particular area canal, that is the anal canal which is going to present. And next cornea, eyes, transparent portion, cornea, lips, mouth, vestibule which is having lips now, next cervix, okay, vagina, male reproductive system which whatever the birth canal, it is the vagina, okay. So this and all, and esophagus also, so this and all, okay, and foreskin also. Male reproductive system consists of penis, that penis, whatever the skin portion, glands, penis which is having, that is whatever the skin which is having, that we are going to call as the foreskin, okay. So oral cavity, cervix, it is a female reproductive part, system part, next anal canal, cornea, lips, vagina, esophagus, foreskin. So these all example comes under non-keratinized stratified squamous. Here it is keratin absent simply. Non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. Non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. Next, stratified cuboidal. Suppose if you take this structure, how it is going to be looks like this stratified squamous epithelium. I'm just to make it. I'm going to make it this one. Suppose if you take it, this is the, okay, this particular part. Just example. You just try to have. Put it down. I'm going to make it. Multiple layer na, you have to make it a multiple layer, that's what, okay. Okay, this is the stratified squamous epithelium cells, epithelial cells. So these are the, so which are going to be located on basement membrane, which are going to be located on basement membrane, which are going to be located on basement membrane, which are going to be located on basement membrane. So it is stratified squamous epithelium which is going to be looks like this, and stratified cuboidal epithelium height, how it is going to be looks like, I am going to draw that. So this is the basement membrane. On this basement membrane, so this is the basement membrane. On this basement membrane, cuboidal, cube-like structure cells which are going to be present. Okay. So these are going to be this stratified cuboidal epithelium, which is going to be, this looks like this. Example, where the stratified cuboidal epithelium which is going to present lining of ducts, lining of ducts or glands, lining of ducts or glands. Okay, lining of ducts or glands. Next, salivary glands, salivary glands, sweat gland, mammary glands, salivary glands, sweat glands, mammary glands. So these are in these lining part which is going to present. Okay, next, stratified columnar epithelium. Stratified columnar epithelium. How the stratified columnar epithelium which is going to present? I already told you, these are long cylindrical cells. This one which are going to be located on basement membrane, which are going to be located on basement membrane. Okay, like this again you can able to take it. It is looks like this. Okay. So here it is, which are going to be located on basement membrane. This is the nucleus which are going to be present. Sorry, which are going to be located on basement. Where the stratified columnar epithelium which is going to be located conjunctiva of eye. Conjunctiva of eye. Conjunctiva of eye. Okay, conjunctiva of eye. Next, anus, anus. Next, vocal cords, vocal cords. Next, pharynx, pharynx, pharynx region which is going to be present. Pharynx region which is going to be present. Okay, so this is about simply stratified columnar epithelium. Of course, vocal cords may not comes. Just remember this is the pharynx. Pharynx region. Okay, so these are the examples which are comes under compound epithelium, also known as stratified epithelium. It is because of presence of multiple layers. So this one it is going to be differentiated into stratified squamous epithelium, stratified cuboidal epithelium, stratified columnar epithelium. Stratified squamous epithelium which is differentiated into keratin based on presence or absence of keratin. Keratinized stratified squamous epithelium, non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. Example for keratinized: palm, sole, skin. Non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium: oral cavity, cervix, anal canal, cornea, lips, vagina, esophagus, foreskin. So this and all example for comes under. Next, stratified cuboidal epithelium, lining of the ducts or glands, salivary glands, sweat glands, mammary glands, lining of the ducts or glands which are present. Stratified columnar epithelium, conjunctiva of eye, anus, pharynx region. Clear? And in this stratified ciliated columnar epithelium also which is going to present. One more, stratified ciliated. Here it is cilia absent. If cilia which are going to present, stratified ciliated columnar epithelium. So where this one is going to present? Simply wherever if you put the cilia, that is stratified ciliated columnar epithelium. Okay, so upper part of the soft palate location. Example, upper part of the soft palate, upper part of the soft palate. Okay, and also we can able to say lining of larynx, lining of larynx, lining of larynx, lining of larynx, lining of the voice box. Larynx nothing but voice box. Palate means in mouth upper portion of soft portion which we are going to call as the palatine, is that right? That part, palate, upper part of the soft palate and lining of the larynx. So these are the examples. Please go through it. And one more. Understood this one? Next. Next. Transitional epithelium or urothelium. Transitional epithelium. Transitional epithelium, also known as urothelium. Why it is called urothelium? You are going to be understand at last. Transitional epithelium, also known as urothelium. Transitional epithelium, also known as urothelium. So it is the 4 to 6 layers. 4 to 6 layers means what is means? So thereby it is the stratified layer. Stratified epithelium. This is the stratified epithelium. 4 to 6 layers which are going to present. Stratified layer, and next here it is upper layer and lower layer cells are there. Upper layer cells and lower layer cells. Upper layer cells, lower layer cells. These upper layer cells are globular. Upper layer cells are globular. Lower layer cells are polyhedral in nature. Polyhedral nature. Okay. So here it is upper layer of the cells globular, lower layer of the cells polyhedral. Okay. Next, when this epithelium is going to be stretching, when this epithelium is stretched, cells become flattened. It is having elasticity. Transitional epithelium having property elasticity. Transitional epithelium having elasticity. Okay. And this also which undergoes, so thereby which undergoes contraction and relaxation. This transitional epithelium which undergoes contraction and relaxation. Example where it is going to be located. Example for this transition epithelium where it is going to be renal calyces, renal pelvis, urinary bladder, okay, ureter, urinary bladder, ureter. So these are examples you can able to observe. Okay, urinary bladder and ureter, and part of urethra also, Suppose if you, in this example, if you take urinary bladder, where urine which is coming from that ureters from kidneys after filtration, which enter into the urinary bladder. So what is urinary bladder? If you go to that particular, these are the kidneys. So these are the two kidneys. From this ureters comes okay, from here it is which entered into in this region, particularly. Okay, so this in this region particularly. Okay, so this is the urinary bladder. So these are ureters. So these are ureters. Clear? So whatever the once it is going to be filtration, that filtered part which is going to be entered, into this urinary bladder. This urinary bladder, there is no specific shape according to that amount which is reached to that particular urinary bladder, which will be expand, and thereby which is going to be expansion, which undergoes simply which is going to be expanding because of elastic property, which is going to be expanding to accommodate the urine amount. So thereby, so this is going to be particularly having stretching and thereby expanding and accommodate the urine. So that's what this is going to be urinary bladder. Like that, renal pelvis, renal calyces also, which are This here it is in this kidneys, particularly in this region, renal pelvis we are going to call it as. Next renal, whatever the renal pyramids are there in lower classes studied, in that wherever the location of that particular place which we are going to call it as renal calyces. Okay, so this and all we are going to be in excretory system very clearly you are going to study. Okay, just up until you just try to remember. And here it is, all this epithelium which is going to be located in this part of related to kidneys and excretory system, urinary bladder, urethra, part of urethra, ureterus. So that is the reason why this also we are going to call it as urothelium. That is the reason why this also we are going to call it as urothelium. Clear? I hope understood. Okay, next one. Next one we are going to see glandular epithelium. Glandular epithelium. Glandular epithelium. What is this glandular epithelium? Some of the epithelial cells, particularly cuboidal and columnar epithelial cells. Some of the epithelial cells, which used for secretion. Some of the epithelial cells which are used for the secretion. Some of the epithelial cells which are specialized for the secretion. Some of the epithelial cells which are used for the specialized for the secretion. Okay, so those cells which we are going to call it as, glands. Some of the epithelial cells which are specifically used to secretion, those cells which combinedly called glands. So these are formed by either columnar epithelial cells or cuboidal epithelial cells. These glands which are formed by the columnar epithelial cells or cuboidal cells. Columnar or cuboidal. Clear? And these glands, these particular glands also they are going to call it as glandular epithelium. So based on the number of cells, these are differentiated into first unicellular glands and multicellular glands. Unicellular glands, example, goblet cells are glands. Multicellular glands, example, salivary glands, sweat glands, salivary glands and sweat glands. Please go through salivary glands and sweat glands. Some of the epithelial cells, not only for the single layer and multiple layer, some of the epithelial cells which are specialized for the secretion, those epithelial cells which we are going to call it as glands or glandular epithelium, those are formed by either columnar or cuboidal. Based on the number of cells, these glands which are going to be differentiated into unicellular glands and multicellular glands. Unicellular glands are goblet cells or glands which are located in stomach region, intestine region. These are located in stomach region, intestine region, duodenum also which are going to present. So where these goblet cells which are going to present, these are present in stomach region. So many parts: stomach, intestine, duodenum, like that. these are going to produce the mucus. These are going to produce the mucus, which is going to be helpful for so many other functions that you just go through it. Okay, next, based on number of cells it is completed. Next, type of secretion. Based on type of secretion, what type of material which is going to be secretion takes place. Type of secretion, based on type of secretion. Based on type of secretion, first one it is going to be serous glands. Serous glands. Serous glands. Next, mucous glands. Mucous glands. Next, sebaceous glands. Serous glands. Example. What are the examples for comes under serous glands? What are the examples for comes under serous glands? Here it is watery rich material which is going to produce watery material. Watery rich material. Here it is you can able to get salivary glands. Salivary glands. Sweat glands also. Watery like material which is going to produce salivary glands, sweat glands which are going to be comes under. Next, here it is mucus. Example, just now I told goblet cells. Goblet cells are glands. Next, sebaceous, name itself indicating oil. Sebaceous glands, oil glands. Sebaceous glands, oil glands. So based on type of secretion, based on mode of type of secretion, we are going to see based on mode of secretion. Based on mode of secretion, this one I am going to beat up. Please go through this. Unicellular glands, goblet cells. Next, multicellular glands, salivary glands, sweat glands, and also yes, that is just remember salivary glands, sweat glands. Next, based on type of secretion, serous glands, salivary glands, sweat glands, multicellular glands, goblet cells, sebaceous, oil glands. So this is based on number of, based on type of. Next, based on mode of secretion, we are going to see based on mode of secretion. Based on mode of secretion. Based on based on mode of secretion. Mode means how it is going to be secretion takes place. In which manner cells are going to be secretion. Based on mode of secretion. Here it is first holocrine glands. Holo, HOLO, holocrine glands. Okay, next, merocrine glands. Merocrine glands. Next, C, apocrine gland. What is this first one? Holocrine glands, merocrine glands, apocrine glands. Oh, holocrine glands, merocrine glands, merocrine also we are going to call it as eccrine. Eccrine glands. Eccrine glands we are going to call it as holocrine. Whole cell which is going to be get ruptures. Whole cell, entire cell, whole cell get ruptures. Here it is, suppose so in this entire cell is going to be get ruptures and which is going to be secretion takes place. Entire cell will get rupture and secretion takes place. Entire cell is going to be get rupture and whatever the content which is present inside the cell, which secretion takes place. So example holocrine glands we are going to be observed. Oil glands. Next, merocrine gland. Here it is. No part of the cell ruptures. No part of cell rupturing. Cell is not simply not ruptured. Cell is not going to be ruptured. Cell is going to be like that only. Through the diffusion process. Through diffusion through diffusion. Through diffusion, secretion takes place. Here it is, entire cell, entire cell is going to be rupturing and contents which is going to be releasing outside. So that is oil glands example. Here it is, no part, any part of the cell does not rupture at all. Entire cell it is remain. Through diffusion process, secretion takes place. This also we are going to call as a merocrine and eccrine. Merocrine and eccrine. Where we are going to be observe this one? Salivary glands and sweat glands. Salivary glands, sweat glands. Earlier we are going to be observed this salivary glands. These are also comes under multicellular glands also. These also comes under multicellular glands also, which are comes under multicellular glands. Okay, this also comes under multicellular glands and also particularly comes under serous glands and also comes under serous glands. Okay, next apocrine glands. Here it is apical part of the cell or apical part or tip of the cell. Tip of the cell get ruptures. So contents which are going to be suppose. So here it is. This is the. So these are the cell. So you just go through. So suppose at last portion. So this is the cell. So apical part of the cell. So this is the cell. Apical part of the cell, which is going to be get ruptures. So this half of the portion of the cell which is going to be get rupturing takes place. Just I am saying one example. If you take that particular cell. So this after that. This apical part of the cell which is going to be get ruptures. Apical tip of the cell, apical part or tip of the cell which is going to be releases its contents outside. Tip of the cell which is going to be releases its content outside. Where we are going to be observed. This one we are going to be observed example in mammary glands. Generally, if you take this one salivary glands, sweat glands in one of the region, it is going to be merocrine glands. In a special part of the body, groin region and armpit region. Groin region, armpit. What is armpit? What is groin? Groin region, where the pelvic region means where the female and male reproductive systems which are located in human beings. That particular part we are going to call it as a groin region, and it is armpit. Whatever the shoulder behind, whatever the part which is having hairs which are in that particular area, we are going to call it as armpit area. Okay, so in these regions, particularly in these regions of sweat glands, this type of apocrine glands we are going to be observed. Generally, entire body sweat glands which are going to be merocrine glands. In a special part of the body, groin region and armpit region of the whatever the region which are having sweat glands, those are going to be apocrine nature. Those are apocrine in nature. Please go through that one. Okay, don't get confused. So based on mode of secretion, in which manner they are going to be secretion, that particular their secretions. Holocrine, merocrine, apocrine. Holocrine, entire cell is going to be get ruptures and secretion takes place. Example, oil glands. Merocrine or eccrine or epicrine also. No part of the cell ruptures. Through diffusion process, secretion takes place. Any part of the cell does not rupture at all. Salivary glands, sweat glands. Apocrine glands, tip, apical part or tip of the cell which is going to be get ruptured and releases its contents. So tip of the portion, example mammary glands and sweat glands which are located in groin and armpit regions. Okay, next another mode of pouring of secretion. This is the mode of secretion, mode of pouring. In which way secretion? Based on mode of pouring. Please don't get confused. First one is based on number of cells. Next one type of secretion. What type of material which is going to be secretion. Next based on mode of secretion. In which mode they are going to be secretion. This one based on mode of pouring of secretion. Where it is going to be secretion takes place. Where it is secretion takes place. Based on that, these glands which are going to be differentiated into first one exocrine glands. Exocrine glands. Next, this one endocrine glands. Exocrine glands, endocrine glands. Next, heterocrine glands. Or mixed glands. Okay, exocrine glands. Simply here it is ducts which are going to be present. Ducts are present. In which ducts absent. Ducts present. Ducts here it is ducts are present. Here it is ducts are ductless. Simply ductless. Here it is mixed both duct and ductless. Both. Okay. Exocrine glands example. Here it is salivary gland. Example salivary glands. Gastric glands. Intestinal glands. Mammary glands. Tear glands. So these and all examples comes under. Next, endocrine glands. Here it is endocrine glands example. Thyroid gland, pineal gland, pituitary gland, okay. In this example, ovaries, testes, pancreas, based on mode of pouring of secretion. Exocrine glands outside. Simply, suppose if I want to say example, salivary glands. In the salivary glands, which are through the duct, which are going to be releases their secretion, because these are having ducts. So that's what these are going to be called as ducts are present, duct presenting glands. Through their duct, which releases their secretion. Salivary glands. Here it is Stenson's ducts, Wharton's ducts, Rivinus ducts. So these ducts which are going to be present. So here also. So these all the secretions which are going to be secreted by their ducts. Okay. And here it is thyroid. This one here it is endocrine. Directly whatever their secretions, endocrine glands which are going to release the hormones. Hormones are directly released into the bloodstream. These are not having any sort of ducts. Directly gland which secretes its secretion into the bloodstream. Through the bloodstream which reach to the target tissue. From the thyroid gland, thyroid hormones which are going to be released. Pineal gland which is present in a brain region. Okay, this one which releases the melatonin hormone. Next, pituitary gland which is going to be releases the master control of endocrine gland. So that's what it produces the various hormones. Okay, like that. Adrenaline gland, adrenal gland. Next, hypothalamus. These all are endocrine glands. Okay, these are going to produce the hormones. Hormones don't have any sort of ducts which releases their secretion directly into the bloodstream. So many exams. This one it is going to be At this point of time, you may get confused. Slowly, you can able to understand. Please try to understand. Here it is: exocrine glands are ducts are present. Through their ducts, which releases their secretion into that particular place. Endocrine glands ductless. Ducts are absent. Their secretions are hormones, which releases hormones always, which secrete their secretion into the bloodstream. That's what these are ductless. Example to all the hormonal glands. All glands. Okay, thyroid gland, pineal gland, pituitary gland, adrenal gland, hypothalamus, heterocrine glands. Part of the gland which act as exocrine gland, part of the gland which act as endocrine gland. We are going to see. Suppose if we take a ovaries, part of the gland which is going to be act as to produce the ovum, part of the gland which is going to be produce the hormones. These hormones are estrogen and progesterone. These estrogen progesterone hormones, which are particularly responsible for that various functions, secondary sexual characters, development of the breast, and so many other secondary sexual characters in females, which are by the estrogen and progesterone. Like that, these are part which is going to be producing this is the exocrine part. So this is the hormones which are going to produce endocrine part. Do you understand what I am going to say? Like that, testes also which are going to be produced like that. Same, testes. These testes are male reproductive systems. Male reproductive system contains whatever these are the, okay. So these testes which are part of the exocrine and part of endocrine. Part of exocrine which is going to produce sperms. Sperms are male gametes. Testes, these are going to be produce the hormones, testosterone hormone. This testosterone hormone for the male secondary sexual characters and development of the sperms. So many functions, other functions also which are going to be done by the testosterone. So testes, which are part of it is going to be acts as exocrine gland, part it is going to be acts as endocrine gland. Exocrine gland produces the sperms, endocrine gland produces the testosterone. And here also pancreas. To take pancreas, this pancreas. Part it is going to be exocrine gland which are produce the acinar cells, exocrine. Pancreas which also produce the hormones, insulin, glucagon, somatostatin, this and all. Here it is insulin, hormones, glucagon, this and all hormones which are part of it is going to be act as exocrine, part is going to be act as endocrine. Do you understand what I am going to say? So this is about based on mode of pouring of secretion. Some of the glands which are exocrine, which are ducts are present, glands endocrine, ductless glands which directly pour their secretion hormones into the bloodstream. Part of the exocrine, part of the endocrine, those we are going to call as heterocrine glands. Example. Very important. Please go through it. Very important. Please go through it. Okay. In next class, we are going to go through what are the different types of structures of glands that and all we are going to be go through it. Okay. Thank you.